how do I get all the shit done that I want to do if I'm not constantly pushing myself? When people have decided to get out of hustle culture, when they're like, you know what, I don't want to be exhausted all the time, I don't want to be fatigued, I'm done with it, but they still want to get a lot of stuff done. It's a tricky spot. Actually, you get when you opt out of hustle culture, and it's not that you become lazy bin. Hi, I'm Ellie. I am a lifestyle and empowerment coach that helps people live vibrantly, aka live their life the way that they want to and get all their beautiful stuff done without being constantly exhausted. I'm anti-burnout, I'm anti-hustle, I'm anti-grind. I am about pleasure, I am about doing what you want, I am about listening to yourself, and I am about being energized. Hustle culture, you've been reading a lot about it, you're like, you know what, I'm out. I get it, this is misogyny, this is the patriarchy, this is white supremacy, like wherever you are in your education, like there's something about hustle culture that you're recognizing, you're like, I don't want this anymore. And then you go into the real world and you're like, but how do I still get stuff done? Because we're so trained to conflate the only way to get shit done is to be really tough on ourselves and push and drive and set huge goals and huge expectations for ourselves. That's the only way that we can motivate ourselves to actually get stuff done. And I'm just here to say that that's not true. There's multiple other ways. I will say this about myself, that I am unbelievably hard on myself. That's always been just who I am. One of the last things my mum ever said to me before she died was, I just wish you weren't so hard on yourself. And that's a lot to hear from someone that you love so much. So I get it. This isn't, I didn't just like wake up one day and was like, I'm gonna frolic in the park. No. Hustle culture, being hard on yourself, is something that I took to such extremes that I just burned out my system and I was miserable, and it's taken me a really long time to get back from that. But I'm the other side of it now, and now I get to bring other people along, and it's fabulous. The opposite of hustle culture is not laziness. It's not doing anything. It's not a lack of forward momentum. It is about doing things in a way that makes sense to you because they make sense to you. I think of hustle culture and living vibrantly, two flips of the coin. And neither options are people not doing anything. All the people I work with are incredibly successful. They're very ambitious. They're super driven. They want to get shit done. And all the people in my world are like this too. They've just found ways of doing it that aren't exhausting, which is what hustle culture is. So the opposite of hustle culture is, it's not nothing. It's not abyss. It's not you just like doing nothing. It's not sitting on the couch. My Live Vibrantly method, which is how I help people move from hustle culture to living vibrantly, it's based on 3 principles. One is healing, letting go of the shit that wasn't yours to begin with. Number 2 is your vibrancy, finding what makes you special and like living that up. Number 3 is how to operate in the world, how to actually maintain these beautiful pieces and operate in the world. If we break that down for hustle culture, number 1, healing. Again, this idea of healing to me is letting go of things that probably weren't yours to begin with. They're the stories, they're the shoulds, they're the shouldn'ts, they're that really shouty voice in your head. It makes you go against your instincts or go against what you actually think that you want. You get to let go of that. And I'm not saying it's easy, I'm not saying it's really simple. I am saying it takes a bit of work, but what you get the other side of it is so much freedom and so much clarity and so much like energy to be in your world instead of completely exhausted. So you get to let go, and that's letting go of people's expectations of you. That's letting go of pleasing everyone. That's letting go of a lot of the stuff that is keeping you back. And this just takes a bit of radical honesty and a whole lot of self-compassion and a whole lot of love. So play with what can you let go, what can you release that wasn't yours to begin with. And we do that as the first stage to create the clarity and the space to really tap into your vibrancy. Like, what is it that you actually want? And when it comes to hustle culture, it may be that you still want to do all the stuff that you want to do. I want to build a multi-million-dollar business, and I will. I've done it before, I'll do it again. I want to do that, I just don't want to be exhausted. And so that for me looks very different to how I'm scaling this business to how I would have done it before. But it's still tapping into my vibrancy, what makes me, I don't know how to make things small. I literally, there's nothing small about me apart from my waist. But I'm going deeper into that, and my healing work has allowed me to really focus in on that and get clear about what I want because I want it. And it makes sense to me. Hustle culture, you're doing shit because other people, a big society is telling you to do it. And so we tap into that vibrancy, and it's really cool. So start getting curious about what you actually want and why you want it. And when are you doing things because other people, you think you're supposed to rather than you actually want to. I am a lover of strategy. I am a lover of tools. I love science. I love research. I read all the time. But sometimes we just need to have a little strategy in our back pocket because people are gonna not quite get what you're doing. A lot of people are still slave to the hustle culture, the grind. They're like, I worked 55 million hours today. Aren't I amazing? I'm too busy. Like, well, you know, I can chat with you 2 Tuesdays in 2 Tuesdays time for 15 minutes because I'm really busy. And a lot of this is just proving their importance, and it's fine. People need to do what people need to do. You've opted out. It can be hard because you get into the world and everyone's still like humming along in a similar way. You're gonna start to second guess yourself a little bit. Hold strong, start really surrounding yourself with people, with resources, with support that like keeps you going, that keeps you strong. And always tap back into your why. Like, why am I doing this? Why is this important? Why is this cool? Like, why am I doing this when other people aren't? Keep asking, and you'll come back to something that really fires you back up again. Because there's a distinct reason why you want out of hustle culture. The anti-hustle culture is living vibrantly, living your way, your terms, on your time frame. But there's a why. There's something in there, and continue to tap back into that and you're going to be in a good position. Comment below what you found the most useful here and the ways that you have found to beat hustle culture when you're out and about in the real world. I'd love to hear from you. The other aspect of this is I'm always going to be here to support you. Comment below if you have specific questions, and in the first comment you're going to find a really amazing resource for you. It's going to be super helpful while you're on this journey, and I cannot wait to hear from you. So subscribe, comment with your big takeaway from this. I would love to discuss more. I'm always here, and I will chat with you soon. All right, chazzies.